Okay, and we should be live if I've got all my stuff together today. Thank you so much for joining us today, everybody. We are back with sort of a mini episode 2.5 of our Death House run. It was only supposed to be 3 episodes. And sorry, I'm knocking things off my desk. It was only supposed to be 3 episodes, but I wanted to make sure that we didn't have to rush anything during the finale next week, so our lovely cast was gracious enough to agree to give us a little extra time today. Let's see. So real quick before we start, I do just want to give the content warning for today's session. If you're not familiar with Death House, it is part of the Curse of Strahd module. It is a gothic horror-inspired setting. It's pretty dark, pretty depressing, and there's some really grim aspects of it. Specifically, this module does contain elements of child neglect, abuse, and death, and today is probably going to be dealing with some of that. So just want to give everybody a fair warning before we get started, because I don't want to spring that on anybody, of course. So real quick, let's just go around and have everybody introduce your characters. Let's go beneath me and start with Tyler. Please introduce Ginger Snap.
Hi, I'm Tyler, and I'm playing Ginger Snap, a halfling cleric of Chauntea. But it's not the traditional type of cleric to Chauntea because she embraces the storm. She's a Tempest cleric. She's kind of motherly. She really cares about people, really kind-hearted, likes to give food and treats and stuff, and isn't having a great time here.
Aw, yeah. I love Ginger Snap. I love all of you. Okay, let's go next to Anna. Please tell us a little bit about Saoirse.
Yes. Hello, I'm Anna, and I am playing Saoirse, who is a character that is autistic like me, and she is also a human warlock with a celestial patron who is a unicorn.
Okay, next we have Amy, who is unfortunately unable to make it today, but she would be playing Vermilion, the Tabaxi rogue. And next, Vince, tell us a bit about Yubnub.
Yes, hello, welcome back, fellow listeners. I will be playing Yubnub, the goblin divination wizard and anthropologist, who is very curious as much as he is terrified to encounter the horrors that we will be encountering today.
Yes. Yes, he is. I love Yubnub, that voice. I can't. Alright, and Angela, tell us a bit about Ania.
Fucking time with that voice.
I know.
I have to take a moment to just take a deep breath in and not die of laughter. And probably now we're playing this die of something else. Hi, I'm playing Ania, the Furbolg Grave Cleric, who is a cleric of Ilmater. So expect, as content kind of warning, a lot of descriptions related to blood and or bindings and such, because it's kind of Ilmater. Ilmater is sort of referred to as the wounded god. You're gonna hear a lot about that, but it's kind of fitting for a death house. So she's having a time here. She's just trying to make sure the other cleric doesn't die and hope that also everyone else doesn't die. Oh, to be a tank and a healer in the party.
Okay, let's see. So just a quick recap for last session. The party continued their trek through the Death House, where they were on the hunt for a monster after running into some children outside of the house, who complained of scary noises coming from the basements. Our party has been unable to locate the basement or the monster. However, they did encounter a set of animated armor that caused them a little bit of trouble, as well as a spirit of undead of some sort who seems to be haunting a nursery on the 3rd floor of the house. They also uncovered a secret room in the library of the home in which they found a bunch of phony rituals, a skeleton of an unfortunate past adventurer who may have gotten not quite as far into the house as the team has, and what else did you find? You found a letter clutched in the skeleton's hand, as well as a key. Actually, I believe you found 2 keys in the library. You found an iron key as well as a sort of golden key with red gems set in the eyes of a sort of bat-like shape to it. We left our session after the team's defeat of this sort of spectral form of a woman who had been peering into a cradle. And at the defeat of this spirit, the reflection of Vermilion winked at them, and the mirror that had been adorning the wall of the battle opened up, revealing a dark staircase. And this is where we pick up.
So, Sam, do we have that map of the floor that we were on, just for reference?
Yeah, I can put that up. Let's see, what floor are y'all on right now? 3rd floor. Okay.
If I'm remembering this correctly, the mirror that you're talking about is in the bedroom proper, not in the nursery room?
Correct. So, just to re-describe the room settings, you are all currently standing in a bedroom with a single bed, an empty armoire, like wardrobe, and a full-length mirror on it. The nursery room is adjoining to it. It had a crib with a small bundle, and the mirror opened up to reveal a staircase. Immediately through the doorway of the bedroom was the landing to the staircase and the lift, like the main staircase and lift for the house. That was where you encountered the armor. And there are still a couple of doors out that way that you have not gone to search through yet.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Ginger Snap, I believe, still has the thing that we thought was the baby, but I think maybe she said it didn't feel like a baby. It was like really lightweight or something.
Correct.
Yeah.
Probably be walking up with that right about now, with it in my arms and looking a little bit weary, maybe a little pale, holding it out in front of her, in front of the rest of you. Before we go in there and see what's going on behind the mirror, y'all help me out with something?
Yeah, what's up?
Sure.
Oh no, that was in character.
Oh, sorry.
Channel divinity.
Yeah,
Claire.
yeah, the voice of God.
If I had it by the voice of God, we should prepare that.
Shantae is super chill. Yeah, what's up? Sup, Ginger Snap?
Yes. I would love to help out.
And I think Ginger Snap just kind of gulps and hands it up to whoever will take it. The bundle.
I will take it. I still have a couple uses of this out of character, so I am going to double check. I am going to snap my eyes, have them go, snap my fingers, not my eyes. Very different statement.
Ouch.
We're going the
Snap my
horror level right off the bat.
We're going
Whoa.
straight to body horror.
Took a
Snap
turn.
my fingers, turn my eyes bloodshot red, and use Eyes of the Grave. Just to double check, is the thing I'm currently holding, do I sense anything undead?
You do not, but just double checking. What's the range on that?
60 feet.
60 feet. Does it, like...
Anything that isn't behind total cover and
Total
isn't
cover.
protected from divination magic.
Okay, just double checking notes and stuff. Okay, yeah, right now nothing pings on your radar.
Right now, that's always the comforting phrasing. Okay. I do not believe this is undead, whatever this is. I'm going to set very carefully the bundle down on the bed and then just say, before I unwrap it, anything comes out, hurt it.
I don't think I can do that.
I will hold the spell Create Bonfire if anything untoward comes out of the bundle.
And I'll hold on to a sacred flame.
Unwrap the bundle.
Cover my eyes.
Okay, you unwrap the bundle, and as you undo this very fine black linen and cotton cloth, it gets smaller and smaller and lighter, and you realize there's definitely not an infant or a baby in here. And a slight sort of rattling sound starts to emanate from it as the bundle gets thinner and thinner. And you unwrap it, and you find a small, clean, white nightgown that was clearly intended for an infant, with a small brass rattle just sort of nestled within it.
Interesting. Not exactly what I was expecting, I must admit.
Yeah. Certainly not with... Seems really strange that they would have sent such a wraith creature to protect just a baby's toy, so...
I don't like this one bit. I'm really worried about these kids.
I don't
Can I
like
hold
it
on to
either.
that?
The rattle?
Yeah.
Sure.
I'll take it from Ania and put it away.
I don't think the kids are... I don't normally like being distrusting, but I think considering what we've experienced so far in this house, I don't think the children should be trusted as much either.
I'm inclined to agree with you there, Ania.
Excuse me, GM, what sort of check would I need to make? Some kind of check in order to know what kind of connection this ghost might have to this particular item, or is that something that I would maybe already know through my academia?
You could make an Arcana check.
All right, that is a total of 17.
17. Okay, so you do know that, now that you know for a fact, you were dealing with some sort of an undead entity, you believe that that was some kind of a specter, which was, bound to some aspect of this location, of this room. You do recall the letter that you had found grasped in the hand of that skeleton back in the secret room had mentioned that somebody in the family had been having an affair, and that there was a stillborn child come from it. So I'd say with the 17, you realize the specter having, some sort of connection to this infant, might have been its parent.
Would we be able to, as I turn to the party and ask, would we be able to see if we could see if there's any kind of remaining magic attached to this of some significance? And as well, morbid as it may be, I must say that given what we might be dealing with and the emotional attachments of various spirits, anything of emotional significance might, even if it looks innocuous, help us in whatever investigation we're trying to do around here. Just in case.
You mean use it as some kind of dowsing rod to track something, or?
Their spirits, the way that spirits are tied to various objects and people it's different than other object relations. While this rattle and nightgown may be irrelevant to us, it may have some sort of significance to whatever people once lived here and may still be dwelling throughout these halls. Even if it may not banish them, it may give us some sort of leverage if we have to interact with them in any way.
I can check to see if at the very least, if not sentimental attachment, if there is some sort of arcane enchantment still bound to the rattle or anything else in that nursery, it would use up some of the last of my natural magic. But if we are able to rest for a little bit, we might be able to get back. I might be able to cover some of my abilities as well.
It certainly couldn't hurt to hold on to it, as far as I can tell.
I'm all right with that. I'll take it back out. That was a lot of words again there, Yubnub. If I'm understanding correctly, I think I didn't know you were so sentimental. If you want to hold on to it, you sure can.
Oh, all right, and very gingerly, I will take it and be like, oh, the things that I do for the good of education, and I put it into my backpack.
Was Ania going to look?
Yeah.
Check it out or something, or save that for later?
I can. I leave it up to the party whether you want me to check. I was going to say before you put it in your pack, because we don't know what it has.
Well, I could always take it back out if that's what you would like to look at.
Let's check it out, see if it's magical.
Sure.
Okay. Ania will sort of unwrap one of the bindings that's been tied around her hands, and she'll pull out a tiny little pouch filled with some slightly decayed leaves taken at the cusp of fall's beginning, and sort of just breathe into the bag a little bit, puncture her finger just ever so slightly with the tip of her cane, a sharp part of it, and she'll use her natural furball detect magic to kick that into effect. Instead of this time, her eyes going to sort of a moss green kind of color, just to see, is there any sort of magic attached to the rattles or any of the...
The rattle does not show any sort of magic or enchantment.
Okay. She will do a very loud gulp, and then we'll walk into the nursery as well to see if there's anything within there that pings the radar to detect magic.
The nursery?
The nursery.
You enter the room and you take a look around. It is empty except for that bassinet covered in a black gauze canopy, and nothing lights up on your magic detection.
Okay, so as of yet, nothing's popped up. I can focus on this, or...
While you have it up, I'm, as petty as this may sound, and I narrow my eyes at that particular stubborn piece of the stained glass that was still my bonfire, and I want to know exactly what was going on with that.
I will peer my eyes over in that direction to see if there's any magic on the stained glass.
You do not detect anything as magical on it.
This is so strange. Why would they choose to invest all of their architecture money into reinforcing this particular pane of stained glass? It's so unusual to these people.
Have we tried just breaking it? That might be a terrible idea, but did we try to break it? I don't remember.
Well, I set it on fire for a minute and no, nothing happened. So I'm not sure if there's anyone who would like to take a more a pugilistic approach to dealing with it, then by all means.
I hatch my warhammer and look for approval.
Yeah, if no one is opposed. Sometimes the simplest solution is the best. We've tried everything else.
Everything else is just fire.
Everything else is fire. And
if fire doesn't, the takeaway for our D&D party is if fire doesn't do it, then we've tried everything.
For D&D, not a bad takeaway.
We're level 2. We can only do so much.
All right.
I just step back and I let Ginger Snaps get.
Yeah, Ginger Snaps. Take a whack at it.
Take a big ol' swing at the stained glass window.
Okay. Roll your attack.
Oh. That is a 16.
A 16. Yeah. You go and smash through the scorched wood and glass. And while the fire hadn't burned through it, you do see some like indentation left by the warhammer, and you can sort of go and like peel some of the splintering and the panes away, and it is solidly bricked up on the other side of the balcony.
Did there seem to be light coming through it before that realization?
You know, you think there was. There wasn't that much natural light anyway. It's been so foggy out, but it does look darker now that you've battled that specter.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't like this place.
I don't either. But Yubnub, if it makes you feel any better, as hot as that fire was, I doubt it would have taken down a brick wall before you had to stop and take a rest.
I can essentially just continue to cast it, as long as I am stubborn enough to keep going.
Oh,
It's
that's awesome.
It's one of my cantrips. It actually comes in quite handy, both for well, camping purposes as well as more ruffian type endeavors.
Did you say stop and take a rest? That sounds nice.
I did, as a matter of fact.
We're all
We are all quite tired and battered and would need some. Yes.
everyone's staring at the very like undead, affected, and touched like halfling in chainmail who nearly got one shot.
I
He's a
know.
little lopsided.
Oh.
I feel like that would be probably a good idea.
I
we
would
just-
agree.
Took a little nap inside the house. Well, a better idea than not taking a nap, maybe I should say. I don't think it's a good idea. I think it's probably the best option we have.
I wouldn't want you to waste what you got there, Ania, but should we take a peek through the mirror first with your eyes, your trick there? Or should
Or
we
special eyes.
What
Peering
do
with
my
your special
keen
eyes.
furball eyes see? Is this the takeaway? Is this is what's happening here? Is it one of those moments? That's both an in and out of character statement. I will very gingerly just look through the other side of the mirror and see if anything with the staircase 60 feet down. If I don't see anything, I will immediately pop my head back in and just go sit on the bed.
Sure. You peek into the staircase, and it is just a small, very narrow, rickety kind of dust-covered set of stairs. You see that it ends in a landing before continuing to go up with a slight turn, but nothing magical lights up on with your spell.
Oh, so it's an upward staircase?
It is upwards.
Behind the mirror?
Oh, upward.
Ooh.
We're on the
I thought
third
it was
floor?
downwards.
You
Not
are on
what
the
I
third floor
expected.
right now.
Yes. Huh.
Okay.
This
So
is
presumably
getting
this would
worse
lead
and
up to
worse.
some kind of attic, I suppose.
I think, to make it clear, let's rest. I will keep my eye on the door and such. Ginger Snaps, if you would like to take the bed and you would like me to just make you feel comfortable, because you will hurt the most of the party.
I would sure like to lay down. I don't know if going up to an attic would help us get to the basement to find this monster, but we'll figure that out after. I put my head down and
Well,
relax for a few minutes.
I'll
If-
just, yeah,
Lying
if there's
around
like
the
a little
bed.
cover on the bed, I'll like cover her up, tuck her in a little bit so, you know,
Aw.
she's not
Alright.
freezing in the fog house.
So you're resting in the same bedroom.
Mhm.
All right. Yeah. So
Short
y'all can take your short rest or a long rest.
Sure.
I think short is fine.
Okay. So a short rest. Roll any hit die that you would like to, consume, and you take your rest. An hour passes. The house is eerily silent. You don't even hear the sounds of it settling. You don't hear sounds of, rodents or anything scurrying around. But whoever is keeping watch, you don't, see anything untoward occur throughout this hour.
Okay.
And
I
just
don't
to
know.
make it official, I'm making use of arcane recovery to recover one of my first level spell slots.
Sure, go ahead. Do it up.
Alrighty.
Okay.
All right, so you awaken, you've stretched, you've rested, some of your, wounds are bound and closed, you're all hydrated and ready to continue. What would you like to do? You still have the open doorway to the hallway, unless somebody closed it, where there is a rusty pile of formerly animated armor just strewn about the landing. You have the open doorway through the mirror to upstairs, and you've still got some of this floor unexplored.
Well,
I had just a quick clarification question.
Yes.
The brick wall is not something that it seemed like we were able to break down or get through. It would probably...
Yeah,
I guess what I'm
Roll?
trying to say is does it look like it's part of the house, or does it look like it was added later?
it was a later renovation on
Anna, the player's been rereading a bunch of Edgar Allan Poe stories lately, and so I'm just like, oh, did we do like interior design in this place? Oh,
this is just bad design.
Yeah.
Let me see. Roll me an insight check.
an insight check. You
Yeah.
say. All right. Let's see. That's a 19 for me.
19. You're examining this bricked up wall, and you sort of get like a shiver up your spine, and you go over to the windows, and they're all fogged, and you can't really see through the shutters or anything. You open the inner shutters, and you find a similar issue now. The windows also seem to be bricked up here, and you think back and you recall there were definitely not any bricked up windows on the home when you came here.
Great.
You retrace your steps and you realize the room you are in right now is the front of the house, so you would have seen if there had been anything like this when you first entered.
All right. So everyone, not trying to cause any panic, but I'm pretty sure that this room is designed to trap something or keep something in here. It doesn't seem like this was made as part of the house originally. It seems like the kind of thing that you use to put someone in a prison. So
Well, that seems to follow with the remainder of what we've learned about this floor, or at least looking around with the amount of dust and how it's not really maintained the same way as the lower floors. It does appear like this has been left to decay, and whatever has been left in it left much in the same way.
should we just leave it as it is, or should we try to break the bricks down?
Let's
Well-
leave. Let's go somewhere else out of this room. It's real creepy.
I would agree with this. Also, I get the impression that this is the kind of place that, depending on how much you poke it, it will poke back. So I think we should be mindful of how much we are doing that at any one point.
That is an excellent point. Also, I worry that, I have the ability to blast through a brick wall, but I'm worried that it would destroy anything that was left behind it in its wake or hurt someone by accident, and so it seems like not a great idea to do explosions in a confined space unless I absolutely have to. So,
Well,
all right.
If it assuages your consciousness at all, if there's someone trapped behind that brick wall, I imagine they're not in the best of health to begin with when you would knock it down. So,
Fair enough.
We already met something that wasn't quite in good health. I would like to not deal with another one of those things that are not in good health. My vote is that we leave the room and we go investigate the other doors before we move into learning any new locations. At least this floor, we have a sense of some familiarity with what we've uncovered. Let's go look through the rest of the rooms and see what else we can find. I imagine Vermilion, who has been doing a splendid job so far of keeping us safe with the doors, is able to go out ahead and investigate as need be.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I'll take a look, and Vermilion will go back out through the hall. Where do you want them to go and investigate? You can all sort of determine which door you want them to check first. You have a door in the hallway immediately outside of the bedroom, which you recognize as a casual door, likely leading to a closet of some sort. There's a set of fine business casual wooden doors, double doors, right across the hallway from the bedroom you are currently in. And opposite the hallway from those, there is another set of a simple sort of business casual door.
All the major league doors are downstairs.
Yeah.
well, my personal vote is for the other set of double doors on the other end of the hallway. We've seen a lot of different closets and smaller adjoining rooms, but if there's anything in the way of clues, I would guess that the more time that one would spend in other rooms, the more likely there is that the previous tenants of this house have left something of import behind.
I'm all right with business casual doors. Although I'd love it, I don't know how much you're Jaegering, but I would love it if we could get Vermilion to check them first, just because.
Yes, I do
That
have
is definitely their expertise.
Vermilion's sheet, so I can roll for them. Let's see. So they will
Also,
go.
Thanks, friend.
I'd also like to draw attention to the fact that one of our lovely chat people has added a note. Just because their skeleton may have escaped from their flesh bag doesn't mean they aren't healthy.
Well,
I love you, but also, why you do this? Why must you say
Now
this?
that's the Barovian spirit.
that's like putting such a different spin on the phrase living my best life, and I don't know whether it creeps me out or inspires me more. That's wonderful.
I love it.
So full of unlife that you left the flesh life behind. It was the flesh life was not for you. The bony life was what you needed.
Oh my god. That's
Alright.
beautiful.
So Vermilion slinks through the hall, not making any sound, keenly or dexterously rather, avoiding hitting any of the multiple pieces of armor scattered about the hallway. And they go and inspect the doorway. They find no sign of traps. They find that the door is unlocked and will swing it open and wave the rest of you over so that you may all go and take a look.
Okay.
Assuming you go and do that, you find inside of this room a dusty and cobweb-filled master bedroom that has burgundy drapes covering all of the windows. Furnishings include a 4-poster bed with embroidered curtains and tattered gossamer veils. There is a matching set of wooden wardrobes, a vanity with a wood-framed mirror and a jewelry box set on top of it with a small padded stool. There's a sort of musty, rotting-looking tiger skin rug that lies on the floor in front of a fireplace. And above the fireplace, you see a grimy, dust-covered portrait of people who you recognize from the portrait on the landing downstairs to be Gustav and Elizabeth Durst. They were the people who owned the home and the parents of the children that you met outside. You see there is a parlor towards one corner that has just a table and 2 chairs on it with a dusty grayed tablecloth with a bowl and jug set on it.
Is it just the 2 of them in the portrait? Are there any children?
In this one, it is just the 2 of them.
Okay. Well, there's no monster in here. I think we're good.
I did want to ask though. I wanted to check the little like vanity dressing table area just to see. That seems like a place that you would hide keys or sensitive papers. You know, maybe we can find out a little bit more about this whole paper trail that you've been following with the will and everything.
Sure.
So I'll just walk. Saoirse will just walk over to the vanity table and see if there's like any drawers or anything to look through.
Sure.
Would you like a second set of eyes to assist you, Saoirse?
I would be happy to. Yes, thanks.
Back up against
Excellent.
the wall and stare
All
at them
right.
with relief.
So you can make an investigation roll, either at advantage, or you can each make a separate roll.
Are you proficient in that, Yubnub?
I am indeed, so...
Why don't we each make a separate roll then? Because I am too.
Excellent.
No, I didn't roll super well. It's a 12.
This is a total of 20.
Ooh, okay. You look around and you don't find anything of, particular, you don't find any paperwork in the vanity. You find some, dusty old, makeup that seems to have dried up. In the jewelry box, Yubnub, you do find the box itself is very finely made. It is a pure silver with a beautiful golden filigree design that is patterned like a windmill on it. You estimate that it's worth about 75 gold pieces. You open it to find that it contains 3 gold rings worth about 25 gold pieces each. And as you pick it up and sort of inspect it, you hear a rattling on a false bottom, and you find a very nice platinum necklace with a large topaz pendant set into it worth 750 gold pieces. So it's a pretty good jewelry haul.
Wow.
This is, not too shabby, I must admit, and it seems like, these people don't really seem like they're coming back for it anytime soon. As I turn to, kind of wiggle eyebrows at the party,
Normally, I would not condone taking without asking permission of certain items from those who likely own them. However, everything in this household appears to be dead. Therefore, I don't feel as uncomfortable doing so. I would say let's hold on to it. If it comes to be the case that we meet the family, we can say it was simply we thought we were attempting to investigate something. We will simply give it back.
I would like to keep you said that there was a silver necklace in the box?
There's a platinum necklace in the box.
What was the whatever it was that was silver?
The box itself is silver with a golden filigree.
Interesting. All right. Well, and it is, to me, would it be the size of, a small jewelry box, or is it large for a Yubnub-sized character?
It's pretty dainty. It's not cumbersome if you wanted to take the jewelry box with you.
All right. I would like to keep it on my person. So for now, I think I'll just carry the box and put the valuables into my backpack.
Sure thing.
Sounds fine. Let's just hope that this isn't tethering some otherworldly spirit to its location, like maybe that rattle. I'm ready to leave the room now that I just thought of that. Great. Shut the door on the way out, please.
We're all now in speed mode of Scooby-Doo investigation, where we're just everything is scary. Let's move through. Let's grab this. All right, we're gone. We're out.
Okay.
All right, so you make your way out of this room. There are still 2 doors left. You have 2 casual doors. Let's say, would you like to have Vermilion inspect those as well? Do you want to head up the secret staircase? What would the party like to do next?
Yeah, Vermilion, could you check that closet, please?
Yeah, sure. I'll take a look. They'll look at the one immediately across from the bedroom first, because it is closer. They find no sign of traps and open it up, and, hey, folks, I found the bathroom.
Oh,
It's actually a pretty nice bathroom. You know, indoor
Good
toilet.
to know.
It's nice.
Didn't put any stained glass anywhere that has any brick walls behind it.
There's not a window in the bathroom.
The true big bad evil guy of this campaign is just stained glass.
Just stained glass.
Only for
I will
the
never
Yub Nub.
forgive that. Yub Nub is disproportionately bitter.
Yub Nub suddenly gains the oath of vengeance, but it can only be targeted at stained glass in particular.
All right. And
Someone
then
mentioned last time that we want to check all these doors, so
next casual door, I suppose.
yes, Vermilion will check that one for any traps as well. Let me see. I just scrolled to the wrong place and I lost where I was. Where the hell was I? Son of a lich. Okay. So they open it up and, you all sort of like Scooby-Doo your heads around the corner to peek in. This is just a dark room lined with dusty shelves. A few of the shelves you see, there's like folded linens and blankets. There's some old dried up bars of soap. There's a cobweb-covered broom leaning up against the far wall. And otherwise it seems like a, simple sort of linen closet.
you want to take a sweep of here or keep moving?
I would say we keep going. I must confess that when we are dealing with the mundane, it puts me more at unease than actually dealing with more terrifying things so far.
Yep, I agree.
This whole place scares me, and it hurts me more knowing that it was a happy place to live for this family at one point.
Well, seems like the only way out is through, so let's not linger here too long.
The attic, I suppose.
Yes. Through the rickety old staircase mirror.
Who would like to take the lead on this? Or
I'll
is it
go
Adam?
first. I have a shield.
All right.
I will go right behind Ginger Snap just in case we run into something like before, so I have my protection from evil spell back. So I'll just be there to give you a shot in the arm of protection against evil if it's necessary. And yes, I'm gonna say if, because I'm hopeful about this situation regardless.
Being optimistic in a Barovian household is holding on to if instead of when.
Correct.
All right. So you all begin making your way up this narrow, creaking, dusty, totally pitch black staircase, and we are going to take a quick, short break before we get up to the attic. So thank you so much for hanging out with us. We will be back in a few moments. Make sure you go hydrate, stretch, take your meds, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out with us for now. Be back soon. And we are back! Thank you so much for bearing with us for that break. Hope everybody, was sure to get up and, you know, stretch or hydrate, whatever. Take your meds. But okay, so just a reminder, this is episode 2.5 of our 3-episode run of Death House. We will be back next Tuesday with the finale. Content warning, this module is dark, grim, it does contain elements of child abuse, death, and neglect, and I just want to make sure anybody who's just tuning in, you know, since the last time we gave that warning is aware now that we're back from the break. So we recently just left the party as they were ascending the cobwebbed, dust-ridden staircase that they found behind the secret mirror in, the nursemaid's suite, leading up to the attic. You enter a, rather large hall, that is choked with dust and cobwebs. You see oh, hang on, is my audio being weird? Let's see. Oh, is that any better?
Yeah, it sounds like it's gone away.
Sounds better.
Stuff, so I don't know, maybe our internet is getting, like, wacky.
Thematically appropriate.
Oh,
Right.
actually, hang on. Something just popped up. What are you doing? What are you doing, Streamlabs? I think it switched my input. Let me make sure. Yeah, it did. That's why I sounded wonky. That's weird. Like, I just got a pop-up that was like, your audio's been switched back, and I was like, I did not switch it
I did not
away.
ask you this.
Yeah,
Tell you not to do this.
that was not what you were supposed to do. Alright, sorry about that. So, you reach a large, I mean, no, not large, but so far it's a pretty large sort of landing at the top of the staircase. You see there's a good layer of dust. Nobody has come this way in some time. As you pile out of the little staircase, you see that there is a door with a large padlock on it to your right, and kind of across the hall. And you see that there are two other casual doors across from each other. And to your left, there is another casual door. These are just plain, simple wooden doors. They are still, you know, a fine wood, but nothing nearly as fancy even as the, like the master bedroom door that you just went through.
It's kind of dark up here. Could one of you light up my shield here, like before?
Taps the shield, casts light on it. All right.
Thank you.
And I'll put my light glowing bracelet up again.
I'm not gonna wait for our tabaxi friend because this is a home. No one's gonna trap their doors, so I'm just gonna open up the lone casual door.
The lone casual door. There are sort of two, I guess, lone casual doors. Like when you come up the stairs, you look to your left, and that's sort of where everything opens up. There are two doors alongside one wall. There is a door opposing one of those, like very close to it. And then further to your left, there is a lone door. It is the one further to your left that Ginger Snap wants to go check out.
So is there a total of 3, including the locked one? Or
There's a
of
total of 4.
4? Oh,
Oh.
jeez. The closest casual door that is not locked.
All right. The closest casual door. Yeah, I'll say you go to the one sort of furthest by itself, the one that doesn't have like an immediately opposing door to it. So you go and open that door, and Ginger Snap opens it up, and you find what looks to just be a spare bedroom of some sort. There's a simple bed that is just covered in dust and cobwebs. with a dark burgundy quilt on it. There is, sorry, this thing keeps re-scrolling on me. There's a table, just like a little writing desk of simple, simple wood. Again, nothing here seems to be nearly as formal as it was on the floors below that you've already been through. And there's a stool for writing, and there is a rocking chair sitting next to a wooden wardrobe.
Is the rocking chair as dusty as the rest of the room?
You go over to take a look, and yeah, everything in this room looks untouched. As you get closer to the rocking chair, you see there is like a dusty old doll sitting in it.
Oh no.
It's clearly not been touched. It's got a stitched, sort of smile on it, and it's wearing what was once a bright yellow dress. Now it's sort of gray, with cobwebs that are just clinging to it. And it is just smiling at you from the shadows.
No. This is too sad. I'm getting out of here.
All right. So you head on out as Ginger inspects that room. What is the rest of the party doing?
I'll just go and open up one of the other casual doors, the next closest one that is not locked.
Sure. You go and open the one, we'll say the one that shares the wall to the one that is locked. You find another spare bedroom here. This one contains a slender bed, a simple nightstand. There's another rocking chair in this room, and a wardrobe, and there's actually a small iron stove.
Is there anything inside the stove, like any evidence of recently burned materials or something like that?
You open it up, and dust and like soot sort of falls from it as you open the door. It creaks. The hinges are kind of rusty, and you peek inside, and you see there's definitely evidence of, fires that have, been burned in there. There's not a fireplace in this room, so you get the idea this was really just like sort of the heat source. But you don't see any indication that there's been any recent activity. There's no footprints in the dust or anything like that.
Just a spare bedroom. That's all it is. As I'm backing away out of it and closing the door.
I know as much as maybe something wouldn't trap their own bedrooms, I am rather interested in whatever was behind require a padlock, so perhaps our tabaxi friend could help elucidate that a little bit by unlocking that padlock for us.
Wait.
And if that doesn't work, we do have 2 keys, I think.
Yeah, I was about to say, does the coloration on the padlock match any of the keys and stylings that are on them?
Yeah, you take the keys out. You have both a fine sort of golden key with 2 small rubies set into it, where it looks like they take the place of eyes of a bat. And the other key you have is a simple iron key, and you hold it up to the padlock, and it looks like they're both made of the same kind of dark iron. Vermilion goes, yeah, I think these might work.
All right. Well, whoever has the key.
All right.
I think that's me.
So do the honors.
I picked it up, so.
Yeah.
Okay, I will unlock the padlock and open the door.
All right. The padlock opens. It is a little bit rusty, but you're able to, force it with a little bit of muscle, and it turns, and you snap it off and open the door, which reveals a room that has 2 clearly bricked up windows opposing the door. These are not hidden behind like a shutter or anything like that. These are exposed brick. The window is flanked by 2 dusty wood-framed beds that are very small. closer to the door, you see a toy chest that has red windmills painted on the sides of it, and there's a dollhouse that, standing from even where you are, you can see looks like an eerie replica of the dreary building that you stand now. And in the middle of the floor, you see two small skeletons that are wearing tattered but very familiar clothing. The smallest one is clutching a doll with a dusty top hat laying askew, and the larger one has two sets of crutches laying next to it. Everything is coated in a thick layer of dust and cobwebs.
There's a slow, deep inhale, and Gingersnap fights a scream and backs out away from the door.
Going to peer in and go, oh, well, that seems about on brand for the rest of this place, as unpleasant as it is. Would it be a silly question to ask if I see any ghosts?
I mean, you can take a look around, give me a perception check.
All right.
Beginning to wonder if maybe that isn't what we did see when they asked us to help them with the monster in the basement.
That's a 17 total.
You take a look around and you don't see any sort of activity of anything. Not right now, at least. The dust all seems to, nothing's moved, not even like a breeze. Everything seems pretty still. Nothing seems to have reacted since you've opened the door.
The children that we talked to before, would they have been... So, as I turn to the party and I'd like to take the temperature of the room, so to speak, so we have one, and I kind of take out the rattle and the nightgown that I have, and saying, so these presumably are related to whatever stillborn child we read about in the one letter. And we have two corpses matching the two quote-unquote children whom we spoke to before. So my question would perhaps be, would these belong to a stillborn corpse whom we have not found yet, or would these be something that we should return to, as I gesture to the corpses or skeletons in the room now, to their owners? I'm not sure if I am putting the right puzzle piece in the right place or not.
You mean, return the rattle to...
So we have the rattle and the nightgown, and we
Right.
have these two children who appear to have met their end in a very unpleasant manner. And we have run into a ghost with an unpleasant demeanor, to say the least. If there is any sort of way to non-violently resolve whatever spiritual disagreement appears to be happening in this building, these items might be talismans by which we could achieve that effect. I don't know if giving them to these bodies would be the appropriate place, or if we should take them elsewhere, perhaps.
I think you're onto something. I think it might have been a third sibling that these belong to, the rattle and the gown. So I don't know if giving these effects to the older siblings would do anything, but maybe it belonged to them when they were little.
That's what I'm wondering about. Could I try placing them next to the two skeletons? I'll walk into the room and try to do that.
While Yubnub is doing that, Ania taking like a long breath with this, but has walked forward, and I was wondering as well if, because you got me thinking, Yubnub, that like you said, likely unpleasant end, but we don't know what that is. Would it be possible to check the actual skeletons themselves to see for any indications as to how they passed?
Yeah,
Medicine check.
sure. So Ania, give me a medicine check, and Yubnub, you were going to set the rattle and pieces down by the skeletons? Okay.
23.
Yes.
All right.
23.
23. So, Ania, you bend down and you take a look, and the bodies are all, it's all bones at this point. It's been so long that pretty much everything has dissolved. But you are able to sort of tell by the condition that the bones are in that they're all very brittle and not very healthy. And you have the idea that just given the locked room, the dusty nature of everything up here, that the children probably died from some form of neglect, possibly malnutrition or dehydration. Yubnub, you set the rattle down, and sort of just place it like between the two bodies, and step back, and you wait for a moment, and nothing seems to happen.
All right. And the nightgown, same thing.
Yeah, you lay that down, and nothing stirs in the room.
Ginger sniffles and wipes a tear away from her eye and just slowly walks over to the dollhouse. Probably doesn't need to crouch down much, but does anyway, and just kind of examines it, sees a similarity. And I'm curious if there's any distinct differences from the house that we've seen.
Sure.
Compared to the dollhouse.
Yeah. So Ginger Snap, you make your way down, and you're right. You don't really need to bend too much to get down to see it. You're about level with the attic, I'd say, and you're peering through. And in your ear, very quietly, you hear a small voice go, "You should ask before you play with someone else's toys."
Oh no! Oh no!
And everybody, I assume, turns. And you look and you see two familiar-looking small figures, but they don't look quite the same as the two children that you saw outside. The children that you saw outside were fully realized. They were solid. These are clearly sort of incorporeal forms of these two children. The youngest, whose name you know is Thornbolt from the portrait that you've seen, is still clutching his little teddy bear with its top hat, and Rose is leaning on her crutches and just sort of looking at you, a little disapprovingly. And she just goes, "You're supposed to ask before you play with other people's things."
Could I play with your dollhouse?
Okay. And she'll come over and sort of sit next to you, Ginger Snap, and sort of start, like, pointing things out through the house. Be like, "And this is the conservatory. Our parents would have, like, dances and stuff here sometimes." And as she's looking through it, give me a perception check, but with advantage, Ginger Snap.
She's shaking. That will be 14.
14.
Oh, with advantage?
Yes, with advantage.
14.
Okay. As she's pointing through, she's showing you the attic now. And you see what looks like an outline of something sort of etched into the door of actually the room that you have not examined yet. And it looks like it's sort of like a carving of another door.
A carving of a door
Kind
in
of.
the door of...
It's like you look. No. Sorry, that was badly described. So you look and you see what looks like an outline of a door, but it's very faint and just sort of lightly etched in the wall of this dollhouse.
Oh,
So.
you're trying to show me something?
Oh, that. Oh, I see. That's the Well, that's normally like our storage room, but that's where you can go to get to the basement. But you have to be careful because that's where the monster lives.
Oh, well, do you still want us to take care of the monster for you?
What? I mean, that would be wonderful if you could get rid of the monster. I mean, it yells and it makes all of these terrifying sounds. Have you heard it?
No, I haven't. But if it causes you some problems, maybe we can help you out.
Oh, that would be really great. It's hard to sleep at night when all of those yells keep happening.
Did these things my friends have, this rattle, did that belong to you when you were little?
Oh no, that belonged to Walter. He was going to be our little brother.
Okay, Rose, was it?
Oh, yeah, I'm Rose, and this is Thorn. And the little boy's kind of like sucking his thumb and just standing behind his sister, and he
Aw.
like waves.
Well, it's nice to meet you. I'm Ginger Snap, and she wipes a tear. We're gonna help you out. We're gonna take care of this monster for you, all right?
Oh, that would be great. Yeah, thank you. Just, be careful because it sounds really scary.
I'd like to approach the children, and I would like to take out one of the books from my scholars pack and take out a pen and some ink, or a quill and some ink, I suppose, and ask, do you think that you could draw what this monster looks like for us? And
Oh.
I'm going to place it down on the floor of their bedroom.
Oh, well, we've never seen it because we just hear it. Our parents kept it locked up. That was why we were here. They wanted to keep us safe from the monster, but, then they stopped coming, so I hope the monster didn't get them. But if you could get rid of it, that would be great. We're so tired.
Well, we'll certainly do our best to help you get your final rest.
Thank you.
And Yubnub kind of like sniffles a little bit and then goes like, and kind of like adjusts his like curly mustache.
Saoirse wants to see, does it look like when you said there were bricked up windows here, is that in some way connected to that weird bricked up stained glass that we saw downstairs?
Looking at this, you can tell easily, that this is not quite the same. This was something that was sort of interior.
I see. Okay. Okay.
Is there anything else that you might be able to tell us that could help us fight the monster? Any special toys that help you feel brave or might help some visitors in your house know their way around a little bit? Sort of like this carving in the wall that you have?
Well, I mean, besides the door in the attic to the basement, I don't know. And Thorn will sort of walk over with his, like, ghost teddy bear and try to hand it to Yubnub. And Thorn will say, this helps him feel better. So, if you're scared, maybe it will help you.
Yubnub will smile, and you said that there is like the equivalent prime material plane teddy bear.
There
next
is.
to you. Okay. And Yubnub will bend down and take it and go like, I'll make sure to keep this with me. And do they have a name?
Thorn sort of ducks his head, and you just hear him mutter, "It's Friedrich."
Friedrich? Well, me and Friedrich will take out that monster for you, and then I'll bring Friedrich back, and he can tell you all about it.
You see his like little ghostly eyes get wide, and he smiles and he goes, "Okay."
Rose, Thornquist.
Sorry, what was that?
Rose. Nia would just sort of turn to them. Did you know that there were other things here that were scary?
Besides the monster? I mean, I don't know. We've never been into the basement, so maybe there's more monsters? Sometimes it sounds a little... It sounds like maybe there could be more than one, but it's hard to tell because it's just so loud it echoes.
So you didn't know that there were other things here that were dangerous?
I don't know what you mean. There's that sword over the fireplace downstairs, but we're not allowed to play with that. It was our great-great-great-great-grandfather's sword. It's just supposed to be for looking, not for touching. And you remember this was a non-magical sword that was over like a fireplace downstairs.
Do I believe them? Do they seem like they're being honest about that? Like that they didn't really know? Like, because I'm trying to think of what's a way to like get at that. Like, were they aware of like the animated armor, the specter who was in the nursery?
You can roll a insight check. Yeah, make an insight. Anybody who would like to can make an insight check, really.
Yeah, I'm curious too. I'm curious to see whether they're like sentient as far as spirits go, or whether they're more just, you know, like that sort of stereotypical pre-recorded track. Like maybe they're stuck on a. I'll make an insight check.
Like they're an echo.
Right.
Yeah.
They only they're a memory of what's left.
That's right. Exactly. So I rolled an 18 on that.
23.
Nice.
18, 23, 16. Yubnub, did you roll 2? I can't hear you, but thanks for captions, I see you rolled a 5.
You're muted in Zoom.
Okay, so, Ginger Snap, with your 23, you definitely get the idea that the children are being totally truthful to you. You know, they're just definitely kind of freaked out by this monster in the basement. A little concerned maybe about their parents. And let's see, sorry. Saoirse, you were wondering what exactly were you looking to determine?
More like are the spirits of the children, are they like sentient as far as spirits go, or are they more like memories, like imprints left behind?
Yeah, you get the idea that these seem like they're pretty aware spirits. You know, they understand that, you know, their parents forgot them. They seem aware that they're dead. And yeah, so they seem, you know, they don't seem like phased by it, but they know.
I'll just lean down and ask them, when we take care of the monster, where would you like to go next? Do you want to stay here?
Oh,
or is there some place that you'd like to move on to?
I don't know. I mean, I guess Mama and Papa always said that there were the family crypts in the basement, and that's where, you know, we're supposed to go. Afterwards, that's where, you know, Grandma and Grandpa and everybody are supposed to be, so I guess there's that, but, you know, here we can still play with our toys.
Okay. Well, I think you should decide for yourselves which one you'd like to go to, but if you want, we can help you with that whenever we're finished fighting the monster off.
would it help if we brought some of your toys with us so that you could play with them down in the crypts?
Oh, maybe that could be nice.
Okay.
Have Ginger Snap and Ania give me religion checks. Or actually, also, Saoirse, are you proficient in religion?
I am not proficient in
Okay.
religion.
I am, in fact, actually.
Oh.
It'll be 14.
14?
Did you want me to roll anyway?
No, I'll say anybody proficient in religion. Roll.
Okay.
That is a 25.
Oh my
25.
gosh.
Great
Nub nub.
Scott, he's done it.
What'd you get, Tyler?
Ooh.
22. Okay, Yubnub and Tyler. And sorry, Ania, what did you get? Did you
14.
roll? 14? Okay, so Yubnob and Ginger Snap, you know, that for ghosts to find rest, usually their remains actually need to be, dealt with in, you know, either some sort of ceremony or, in this case, it seems, you know, maybe putting the remains in the family crypts could help.
Well, as long as it helps them, I'm all right with that, and I suppose I'll fit however many of these children's bones that I can fit into my backpack
Oh, gosh.
backpack.
Perhaps not at this moment we do that part. Perhaps we go deal with the creature first.
And then come back.
And then come back.
I wouldn't be opposed to that, except that we haven't seen that there's another way into the basement other than from the top of the house. So I'm not sure
Fair.
we would be able to get back from it.
Well, we better be able to come back out that way. That's how we're going to get back out of the house.
I would hope so, but if anything about this venture has been educational, it's that I should keep my assumptions to a minimum.
I think there's one assumption that we can hold to pretty strongly, is that this place is dangerous, and that any assumption about safety we have should always be handled with a level of care and not much attachment to it, because it has been nothing but dangerous while we have been here. Or at least unnerving.
Could I see if there's maybe a way there? You said there were 2 very small beds in the room, right?
Yes.
If we took the sheets off of the beds, maybe we could make some kind of like burial shroud thing, just so that way Yubnub doesn't have a bunch of bones,
Yeah.
loose bones, or
Definitely.
in the backpack, and we could bring you know, some of the toys or effects, things like that, with the bones.
Sure. Yeah, that's definitely something you can do. You're able
Okay.
to sort of like compact them into, you know, just sort of very neatly wrapped white, you know, linen sort of shrouds.
Right.
That you're able to sort of neatly put them in, you know, your packs nice and safely and protected from getting, you know, like bopped around from like your equipment and stuff.
Right, because these are really brittle bones too, and you said old, so I don't want them to just get pulverized on their way to their final
Right.
resting place.
Yeah,
Are the
no.
kids still there, like watching us while we're doing all this?
Yeah, while you start doing that, they sort of distract themselves. They see the little ghost of Thorn go over and start playing with the dollhouse, and Rose is just kind of watching him. They look like Rose looks like she's maybe about, like, you know, 12 or 11 or so, and Thorn is like 6 or 7. So you get the idea, maybe, you know, she feels like she's a little too old to be playing with a dollhouse, but she's watching her, you know, her brother have fun.
Okay.
And they seem like they're able to interact with physical things.
You don't see anything like moving, but you know, like Thorn's got his like, you know, sort of like bear, and he's just like sticking it in the rooms and like making it lie down, like.
All right.
It would
Is
be
there-
wholesome if it wasn't terrifying.
Yeah, seriously. Oh.
They're like, look what I could do, and like take their head off. And
Right.
It's adorable and horrifying.
That's the tagline for all of Barovia. It's adorable and horrifying.
So,
Are
to
there
the
any other
basement?
further details that we need before we proceed to the basement?
I guess there is one more door that we haven't opened. Or is that the basement door?
That is the one that leads to the basement.
Okay, so, yep. Final door, I suppose.
To doom it is.
Doom it is.
Well, Rose, Thorn, you two be nice to each other. We're gonna go take care of that monster, okay?
Oh, okay. Are you sure you don't want to stay and play a little bit longer?
If I can, I'll come back and play.
Oh. But we'll miss you.
I'll sure miss you too. All right, goodbye. Cover my face and walk out the door.
As you start moving, towards.
Do they look remotely antagonistic? Ginger walks away.
As Ginger starts to move away, they start to look very distraught, and sort of start to like follow Ginger, pleading, "Don't leave us yet. We want to keep playing. We've been so lonely up here." And I would like Ginger to make a
channel divinity.
charisma save. Go ahead, channel divinity.
I am turning the undead.
Yeah. Do you need to make a roll
That's
for
why.
that?
Yeah, it's a roll on their parts for both of them. It's a DC 14 Wisdom save, or their turn for a minute.
Okay, let's see. All right.
And we have their bones in our bags.
Right. Ania, what's your dex mod? Just because I'm gonna decide who moves first, pretty much based on who's got the higher mod.
My dex modifier is only a +1.
Ah, it's a tie. All right. Roll me a d10.
D10? Oh lord. Oh, please roll high on this. That's a 6.
A 6. Okay, yeah. So you are able to do your channel divinity first, and you sort of watch as the form of Rosevalda starts to sort of coincide with Ginger Snap. But you do your turn undead, and you see as the spirit just sort of gets yanked out of her. And these two ghosts, their eyes sort of wide in fear of you.
Well, it's for both of them.
Yeah, both of them. Yeah.
They're both okay.
So
yeah, I sort of imagine that it's right as because the moment I heard her say that, I'm like, no, and probably Abnub and Saoirse probably saw her Sienia reach into her bag. And she pulls out a small little blade that she cuts along actually her wrists, and then just pushes it against her holy symbol, which looks like a rose bush that has actual thorns on it. But when the blood seeps onto the actual thorns, it leaks into the main budded flower, and it glows the holy light to turn them.
Wow.
Yeah, so you watch as this light sort of spills and washes over Ginger Snap and these two spirits. And their, ghostly eyes sort of open wide in fear, and they start to flee away from where you were all making your way through the door. And you see them sort of dissipate as they make their way to the far corner of the room. Possibly fading into the ethereal plane, at least for the time being.
I'll walk over to Ginger Snaps. I imagine she's probably collapsed after that a little bit. Do I have that right?
Yeah, a little bit away from the door, hunched, crying a bit, for sure.
Yeah, Ania will walk over and bend the full 7-foot tall Furbolg height down and just hold out a hand. Come here. Let's give them a reason to have peace.
Ginger Snap will hug Ania if she'll let her.
Yeah, no, she'll pull you up for the full hug.
Oh.
And sorry, just turn over to everyone else. We have a minute before they
Let's
return.
make sure we close that door, please.
Yes. And let's get out of here as quickly as we can.
Sure. So you're able to now, freely and unaccosted by these spirits, make your way back out the door. Just for good measure, Vermilion will kind of put the padlock back on it and relock it with, kind of trembling, clawed cat-like hands.
Mm-hmm.
And now that the last room that you have not gone into is where the secret door can be found.
Okay, let's do this before they come back.
I'd like to turn to sorry, not Vermilion, but Ginger Snap. Do you have, or any of you, I suppose, since you are all quite holier than myself, any of you have a little bit more of that that bless that you had earlier? I've been practicing something that could give us quite a bit of pep for anything that could do us harm in this basement, but I only have 2 chances at doing it. So the more accurate that you could make me, then the more that we could perhaps give this thing what for.
Yeah, sure. If you'd like, I'd be happy to. I
Excellent.
think I could do that. I don't normally use that spell, but I think I could again after using it after that spell taught me how. For the record, I do have it prepared this morning, but for later.
Right. Yeah, and you do have the scroll, I believe, of bless.
I used it last time.
Oh, you used that already? Okay, cool. Do keep in mind, though, I do believe bless only lasts for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
I do have the ability to protect one person from evil, and it's not quite a bless, but it would be the opposite of that, so it would make
It'll keep them off of us.
them off of us for a little bit longer.
Well, if I can get my arcane hands around one of them, I could continue blasting them for up to a minute. And it's quite the nasty little trick, but I have to hit them. So anything that I could get into sort of aid towards doing that would assist us. But of course, if it only has limited duration, then by all means, save it until you deem appropriate.
You got it. Whatever it takes. Let's do this.
Yes.
All right. So we proceed towards the hidden door then?
Okay.
Let's do it.
All right, so you make your way to this final simple plain door. It opens up to a dusty storage room. It is full of pieces of furniture and, chairs and coat racks and old standing mirrors, and you even see like a dress mannequin like broken off in one corner. Everything's sort of covered in sheets, and you see you follow to the space on the wall where you know the secret doorway to be, and whoever goes first, you start rolling your hands along the door, and you do eventually find the sort of groove, and you start brushing it off, and you see the outline of a door that like perfectly matches this wall, and there is no doorknob, but you do see a small keyhole with what looks like 2 rubies set around it, in the place of where 2 eyes would be on a bat.
Well, which one of us had that key? Is it Vermilion again?
I think so.
I thought that you had them, Ginger Snap, the keys.
I had the iron one, but I can put it in.
Sure.
I think when Ginger Snap tries to do that, like I will like gently take the key, given that Ginger Snap has been through quite a lot. Like, let me take.
All right.
Like does like a very like big like couple of like steady breaths to keep herself like calmed down. Let me take the lead on this one. And
All right.
the key in.
I back up a couple steps.
Turns it.
Alright. You insert the key, and you see the 2 sets of rubies sort of like give a very small flash, just sort of in recognition as the key is inserted. And you hear the locks click, and the door opens soundlessly through this very narrow door, actually. It's not even like a full, 5 feet space. It's maybe only 4-foot narrow staircase going down. And you feel a cold draft of stale, moldy air rush up the staircase towards you. It is heavy with just the scent of stale water and fungus and decay. And as you start making your way down, you begin to hear what sounds like very faint voices in a melodic kind of tone, but you can't understand any words. And this is where we're going to end tonight, to pick up next week. But as you step through that doorway, you are all level 3. So for next week,
Hooray!
and the battle with the monster in the basement, you will be able to enjoy the beautiful 3rd level perks.
Nice.
Yay! This is like the most lukewarm I've ever felt about leveling up because I'm so scared.
Oh man, thank you so much for coming to hang out and letting us do this extra session. Because I didn't want to have to rush through anything that happens today, next week, and wanted you all to be able to take your time going through this next level. So I felt like this was probably the best course of action. Thank you so much for everybody who came to hang out with us. I just do want to reiterate that we do make use of safety tools for all of our games here. So, we make sure that all of the players and the DMs are going to be comfortable, and we know sort of our limits. We're definitely going to, I think, be hanging out a little bit after this just to decompress together. Aftercare is very important after intense sessions like this. But I do really want to thank everybody for coming to hang out. At Heroes Without Limits this month, we are running a donation drive, actually, for Take This, which is a foundation, it's a nonprofit organization dedicated towards helping geeks and nerds and, gamers find mental health resources. So check that out. You can do !donate to get taken to our Tiltify link so you can donate to them. That means that the donations go directly to them. We don't have to send it or anything. It goes right to the organization, which is pretty clutch. Otherwise, also Heroes Without Limits is going to have our 2nd episode of Heroes Sheets this Thursday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, where our host Daria is going to be interviewing Aubrey, who plays Holly Lynn's Goblin's Foe, our paladin over on Lost Mines of Phandelver. It's going to be a good time, so check that out. Otherwise, we're just going to go around and give everybody a chance to let us know where we can find you online. If you have anything you want to promote right now or anything else that you want to say or add before we see you next week. We're going to go in the opposite order this time, so let's start with Angela.
Hello there, everybody. I am your resigned Furbolg cleric of this group, feeling a lot of literal and spiritual weight of my character dealing with the death of now 2 children and seeing them reduced to undead, which is unfortunate. But hi, Phoenix24 Fam on Twitter, Philosophy Fam on Patreon and such. You can find me a lot of different places, and also as a regular DM for Adventures in Ugni, a homebrew all POC D&D 5e campaign happening Saturday evenings. It's 7:30 PST, 10:30 EST Saturday evenings over on the Welcome to the Party channel. I'm usually there or on my Twitter and other spaces, just being really hype for other people and really gay and trans. It's usually some combination of the 3. That's pretty much my whole existence at this point. But yeah, that's me.
Awesome. And Vince, where can we find you? What are you up to?
You can find me at Dichotomous Prime on Twitter. I think I mentioned before, I'm a professional GM for hire. So if any of you enjoyed my stylings here, and wanted to get into either D&D 5e or other systems, but are one of the many people who can't find someone to GM, get in touch with me. We might be able to figure something out. I am also an aspiring voiceover artist. So again, if you like what I put together today, it might be to your liking. And other than that, I am a narrative designer and tabletop roleplay creator, and am currently working on some other projects that some of my castmates here have seen a couple of little tidbits of thus far. So you can look forward to those pretty soon.
Awesome, thank you. And we would normally have Amy here with us. You can find her at Amy Liz _W on Twitter. She plays Vermilion, our Tabaxi rogue, and should hopefully be back with us next week. Anna, in the meantime, tell us about you.
Yes, hello, I'm Anna. You can find me on Twitter at Nymeria941. I also have a YouTube channel where I make videos about books, writing, all kinds of tabletop games and general geekery, and that's just my name, Anna Goldberg. So if you pop that into the search bar, I should turn right up. I also work along with Tyler with the Dots RPG project, which does writing to make tabletop RPGs more accessible to blind and visually impaired players. And I think that's it. That's me. That's what I do.
Awesome. And Tyler, tell us about you.
Yes, I'm Tyler. I am your resident nervous NB, and you can find me, if you want to, on Twitter at Tyler_Moonsage. I am a transcriptionist. I write transcripts for a bunch of podcasts that you may or may not be listening to in the D&D and tabletop space. I am also one of the guild leaders for the Dots RPG project, as Anna said, where we make Braille dice and Braille books and try to create any tools or services to bridge gaps to make sure that people with disabilities have access to all of these wonderful games that we play. We're also having a panel at PAX Unplugged.
Yeah, we are.
You'll be able to hear me, our director, Jess Dempsey, a couple other big names in the community, and our own Samwise Gamgee here.
That's me! I'm very excited about that.
So come hang out with us at PAX Unplugged and visit our panel.
Yeah.
I will be there.
Yeah, PAX party!
I just want to make a sign to hold up in the crowd to be like, go Death House team.
Team Death House.
Yeah.
All right, and hey everyone, I am Sam. I can be found at Samwise_Gamegee on Twitch and Twitter. I am the co-producer here at Heroes Without Limits. I pretty much run most of the tech, or all the tech right now. So any of our streams, I'm behind the scenes doing stuff for that. But you can also find me, I'm on a bunch of streams right now. You can find me Mondays on Encounter Roleplay. Wednesdays, I'm over at the Chromatic Chimera. Fridays, I'm on Variant Rolls. And then Saturdays, you can see me here in Lost Mines of Phandelver. So check that out. I'm also now on a podcast with Mud and Blood podcast. We are playing Cult Divinity Lost. If you like horror spooky games, our session 0 just dropped last week, and I think this week or next week, our official episode 1 is gonna come out. It's all timed to come out with Halloween. It's spooky AF, so if you're into that, check it out. Our session 0, we talk about safety tools and everything as well, so if you're interested in just hearing about how groups, handle things like that for intense horror games, that's something you should totally check out. But in the meantime, that's going to be all for us for tonight. We will be back next Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern for our third and final episode of Death House, and I'm so excited to see you all make your way through this next level. So thank you so much for joining us tonight, and I hope everybody has a lovely evening. Take care, everyone. And we're off!